Another fight and drama in the House of Senate, which is the National Assembly. My people, not be small wahala o. Senator Akpabio, Senator Adam Oshiomhole, Senator Negi, and other senators in the House of Senate dey fight. He say the way that they fund the police no be the same way that they use the police. He say the way Nigeria government dey use the police e worse and e dey higher pass the way that they push money dey go those sector of Nigeria. Dem dey argue say Nigeria government or Nigerians no go fit expect high efficiency from police, army or other sector of the armed forces if dem no dey push a lot of funds to make sure say dem get the right tools for their works. He say e no go fit happen like that. My people, no be small wahala, see drama, see fight for the House of Senate. Na once Senator Akpabio come provoke say no be only for police na dem no dey get the adequate fund o. He say even for the army sector, the navy sector, every sector of Nigeria dem no dey receive adequate funding. So he say no be the funding na dey make police no dey give their maximum capacity or efficiency for the work wey dem suppose do. My people, see drama, see fight, see argument, see provocation for the House of Senate. Na once everybody provoke for the House of Senate, my people, when I watch the full video on everything wey happen. After that, when I finish, drop your opinion for the comment section. What do you think about this thing when they talk so, when they argue about so? You sure say na the funding na dey cause am or na the efficiency of the capacity? Drop your opinion and don't forget to like and share. Make it reach more people.
Mr. President, the way we are using the police and the way we are funding the police, we are only complaining because we are not giving them the tools to work so that we will be able to handle them if they are...
Sorry. Everybody knows the need for the police force to be funded, to be well funded. But talk about constitutionality of our action. We are a lawmaking body. We cannot be lawbreakers. Can you address that?
Yes, I can address
that.
Mr. President.
Without constitutional amendment, can you put for police force
Mr.
on the consolidated revenue fund of the federation?
Luckily for us, the constitutional amendment committee is still on.
So in other words, you are recommending that we should also include it in the
include it so that there won't be any challenges to it.
So it's taken. It's taken. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you very much. Now, Mr. President, how do you think police will perform in this country, even if you give them 10%? Mr. President, we have almost 200 million Nigerians, about 200 million Nigerians, and then the police population is 300,000, which means one police to about 600 if you do the calculation. Mr. President, the way we are using the police and the way we are funding the police, we are only complaining because we are not giving them the tools to work so that we will be able to handle them if they are...
Sorry. We are saying that even when we had 0.5% from the consolidated revenue fund,
yes,
it was challenged.
Yes.
And they won. Now we are moving from 0.5% to 1%.
Yes.
And we're also saying that they are receiving grants from different agencies and all that. And we're saying they are also receiving assistance from the state governments and all that. Nobody's against improved funding of the police.
Okay.
We are against taking action as a parliament. That is unconstitutional.
I agree.
So I talk about the constitutionality. That's what concerns us. Don't talk about the number, what we are not giving adequate funding. We talk about constitutionality of our action as a parliament. We make the laws. We cannot also break the laws. Don't forget that the Constitution of Nigeria is a ground norm.
Yeah.
The ground norm. So address me on that. Don't talk about whether we have adequate funding for police or we don't have adequate funding for police. We don't have adequate funding for the army. We don't have adequate funding for Air Force. We don't have adequate funding for the Navy. We don't have adequate funding for
the security.
We don't have adequate funding for Parliament. So please, I don't want us to stay here and then do something that will look as if anybody is against anywhere. Everybody knows the need for the police force to be funded, to be well funded. But talk about constitutionality of our action. We are a lawmaking body. We cannot be lawbreakers. Can you address that?
Yes, I can address
that.
Mr. President.
Without constitutional amendment, can you put for, police
No,
force
Mr.
on the
President,
consolidated revenue fund of the Federation?
Luckily for us, the Constitutional Amendment Committee is still on.
So
We can
So in other words, you are recommending that we should also include it in the
include it so that
so
there won't be any challenges to it.
So
Luckily,
it's taken. It's taken. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you very much.
Now, second reading. I believe the T's, we shall dot the I's and cross the T's when we go for public hearing. When we go for public hearing. But because it is necessary, I believe we should pass it. We should allow it to go through second reading so that we go into a public hearing. But we should note those areas that will require constitutional amendments. And we should also demand accountability. So far, what have they been doing with what was given to them? So the chairman, police, Senate Committee on Police, we would like the leadership of the Senate to be briefed by the current people who are there in the police trust fund on what they have been doing with the money so far collected, and also there are other sources of funding, grants, and all those things. We've already approved many police institutions. What will be their fate? Are they going to benefit from this? And then we are also contemplating state police. Would the state police benefit from this? There are many issues that can only be answered during the public hearing. Leader of the Senate, I don't know whether I'm right.
It is not our make. It is for us to scrutinize it. And that's why there is going to be a stage of public hearing when all stakeholders are meant to come together. My only request would just be that all of us take interest in this bill when it goes to public hearing. But in the meantime, there's nothing on the face of this bill that makes it illegal. You know, and that's why I quickly disagree with the idea that the bill is illegal. The bill does not confront any of the provisions of our Constitution, but the prayers, you know, as they are, if there's any of the prayers that we feel might not be in tandem with the provisions of our Constitution, which is the grundum, like you said, sir, you know, I think that's where we need to get the Office of the Attorney General, as well as all the other stakeholders in the executive arm, to come and defend it. I also agree with what you have advised the chairman of the Senate Committee on Police Affairs to say. Write to Police Trust Fund and ask them for a report of what, how they have expended the monies given to them in the past. All of these are in line, but let's all go to the public hearing to deal with the issues.
Yes.
Is for the Federation of Nigeria. The Nigerian Police Force, as it is now, is for the Federation of Nigeria. It's not only serving the federal government, but the entire federation. So, what this bill is talking about is in tandem with our Constitution. I don't believe that it's outside the confines of the Constitution, or you are breaching the Constitution. It is for the federation. It touches the man in Akwa Ibom, the man in Eket, the man in Kano, the man in Kabo, my village. So it's for everybody. So, and we know the seriousness of what this bill is talking about. Our security, internal security, which is being threatened every day. So, there's no better time to get this bill passed than now. So it doesn't contravene our Constitution at all. That's my belief. Thank you, Mr. President.
You are talking as...
My name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Borno North Senatorial District. Mr. President, I equally submit, and most possibly for that matter, that what we are doing now is not in any way in breach of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is the grand rule. I want to crave your indulgence and refer you to Section 80, subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Exactly.
Subject to your indulgence, I will read, because that provision is very clear and
Please read.
No monies shall be withdrawn from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation except to meet the expenditure that is charged upon the fund by this Constitution, or where the issue of those monies has been authorized by an Appropriation Act, Supplementary Act, or an act first in pursuance of Section 81 of the Constitution. An act first pursuance to Section 81 of the Constitution. Mr. President, distinguished senators, what we are doing here is trying to pass an act. The Constitution said either in consonance with the Appropriation Act or an alternative, an act passed by the National Assembly. What we are doing now is we are passing an act so that 1% can be charged for the Consolidated Revenue Fund for the funding of the police, which is clearly in consonance with the provision of the Constitution. I wish to submit.
Your submission is noted but rejected.